it'd be great to if you could reflect on that a little bit. You know.
Well, the anxiety is one of the elements that tyranny is based on, manipulation of human anxiety, and we pointed out in the talk that there was obviously various kinds of anxiety. Some you want to get rid of, some you don't, that kind of thing. But the controllers are certainly thoroughly aware. I mean, first of all, they're aware that we're basically, slaves. That's what they think. They think that they've built our civilizations, they've created our reality, any affluence that we may experience, any sense of well-being. They look at us as if they're the providers, and we should be eternally grateful. And as they try to move towards this global village concept, they basically want our complicity in that, and therefore they also think that by making things very troublesome, very difficult, very anxiety-ridden, people start having fear, we'll lean on Big Brother, we'll lean on father figure again, to get that sense of stability that may be lacking. But the thing is that then it needs to be pointed out to people, those not even familiar with the subject matter, that it is by design that is done. Because otherwise the anxiety you spoke about is perpetual. How would you get out of it? If you didn't know, if you didn't twig it, that this is in fact by design, some other hidden forces are working around me to make me feel this way. Because what's happening is that you're being drawn out into the world, you're being drawn out into the collective. And the anxiety arises because there's a distancing now between your own true self, right, which is what you've been born here to realize, and the whole other matrix of duties and domestic minutiae and charitable acts and altruistic acts and political affiliations and religious beliefs. See, that's all just false. And we're being pulled out of that. And so the anxiety that you speak of arises because some sort of inner voice within us resists that. And it sets up, the call of that authenticity is then perceived as anxiety. What do we do? And not knowing that, we then step into the whole leviathan of the pharmaceuticals and the doctors, the men in the white coats. We were mentioning philosophers like Foucault who had been warning about this for umpteen years. Watch out, because these are agents of globalism. These are agents of control. But we go, it's sort of like a white magic ritual in which you go to them. They don't necessarily come to you. But you step into their world, say, Doc, fix me, there's something wrong, I can't sleep at night, whatever. And so millions and millions of dollars, millions of pounds are put into the creation of all of these happy drugs. And also the media, all the mainstream media. And it's so addictive because people need to escape into that media. They need to escape into those archetypal scenarios, the sitcoms, the movies, the imagery, so, as we point out, the kids, the very violent, sort of aggressive media that they're obsessed with, you see. But they can't stop because it's addictive. There's so much repressed anger, there's so much repressed aggression. And it becomes very addictive then. So when you're trying to then go cold turkey and maybe step into what I would describe as the holy work, which is this revelation, because I'm one of the only people in this movement who absolutely insists that the study of conspiracy material is should be considered identical with a spiritual process.
Sure.
Yeah, because you have these new agers over here going, I don't want to touch all this stuff, it's all real dark and everything. Oh my God, you're so negative, Michael.
Yeah, exactly.
And I go, and then you have this other conspiracy crowd who, they're all divided, do you see what I'm saying? Or this conspiracy crowd who say, if we could just get rid of government, everything would be marvelous. Yeah, so you're spiritually empty, but you think, you haven't done any spiritual work. At least the New Agers at least trying to do some sort of spiritual work. Sure. The conspiracy guys just running around waving placards ready to, get rid of government and all of this stuff, as if that's going to be some sort of solution. Yeah. So the error on both sides there is that they're not factoring in consciousness. For the conspiracy person, it's mostly them and us. For the New Ager, it's a sort of a bogus conception of man. That if he just puts on a big Cheshire cat smile and it just goes about his business and gets preoccupied with that stuff, that's going to be enough. They don't want to look at the dark side. They don't want to look at the criminal history of mankind. Which is, you have predators here. You have tigers in the long grass who don't mean you well. So there's the weakness in that side, you see. So the blending together is done through the idea that the greatest weapons against those forces is to understand your own psyche, to understand what's going on inside your own mind, because that's what they understand. Now that's not to say that they have conscience, they don't. As a matter of fact, their Achilles heel is that they really don't ultimately understand the human psyche in the deepest sense, right? But when it comes to the control animal, they know enough, let's put it this way, to completely control whole groups of mankind over long periods of history. This is the danger. And the history books reveal that that has been done. That's not me dreaming that up. That's history alone shows you. That entire ways of life have changed. Go and ask, here we are in Australia, go and ask any Aboriginal elder, a New Zealand Maori elder, go and ask them about the criminal history of white man. So that's how they put it, right? It's not just white men, it's the aristocracy at the top, who are as evil, who are as, in fact, this is one thing that Indigenous people need to understand. Their foible is that they think it's just a white man scenario, black scenario. It's not, because that oligarchical force that has preyed over these Indigenous people, and let's never doubt that that has happened, have also preyed over the white man too. He's the victim as well.
Exactly.
This is a group, but the thing is that anytime somebody starts to twig this, like a Martin Luther King or even a Malcolm X, when they finally realize it's more than just race, they're executed, they're taken out, either professionally or physically, because that's never to be got at. We want all these races fighting and murdering and killing each other and blaming each other, the blame game. The average white guy in a pub goes, "Oh, I've never done nothing to none of you. I'm just born in Stepney, mate." And that's true, he is. So it's not about the ordinary people. It's not about them fighting each other. It's about this oligarchy that has preyed over all mankind. All men have been victimized by these few creatures at the top of the pyramid, you see. It's like that great speech in the movie They Live, Don't you see them? Don't you see them? Their leaders are there preying on mankind. It's very, very serious. But when you spoke earlier about the kind of psychic hygiene concept, how could you, it's like putting on those glasses and They Live. The putting on the glasses is the psychic cleansing. It's the deconstruction of all the lies that we've been brought up with parents and teachers and everything. That's what it means to put on those glasses, so that you can see them. Other people can't see them, but you can see them. And that's what people like myself, my work is to do. It's not to give you the whole answers and put you there. It's a guidance in a way, and to show you here's some of the steps you can go through, see how it works, with the whole idea of cleansing the mind, like William Blake called it, dropping the scales from your eyes, getting rid of the mind-forged manacles, so that then no teacher is required. You see it and you know exactly what course of action to take.